Do you think that AI could one day take the place of colleges and universities?
I can see AI taking the place of universities. Why are you going to go spend $100,000 on a degree? I don't see myself sending my kids to university unless they're going to become something specialized.
Your AI content clone, what is that?
What I've done is I've cloned myself. That's not me, that's my clone.
Wow. Most people don't realize how many white collar jobs are going to go away. People who cannot be easily replaced are actually safer over the next 3 to 7 years. Are you as worried as some people are about job loss?
Yes, I see it happening every day. There's always a way to replace someone who's sitting in front of a computer because there's a computer that can replace you, right? A bot.
If we're feeling marginalized, why do we need to understand AI and utilize AI in our day-to-day lives?
We don't need to go to an Ivy League school. AI can deliver a lot of that for you. It can improve your IQ. It can improve your knowledge on so many different things. It can help level the playing field for people of color.
You have a video on your Instagram that says, if you're not making $10,000 a month on ChatGPT, you're doing it wrong. How do they make $10,000 a month using ChatGPT?
There's so many ways. So you could start with
How did you get into being an AI strategist and what is it?
I work in tech full time for a large corporation that everyone knows. And I do this for my job at a product level where I'm using AI for customer solutions, for solutions for our employees, but looking at the online world and seeing how, the trends are changing with marketing, with online products, with different tech companies. I just started to dig more and more into it about a year ago. And then I started to sell digital products on the side last year around April. And then from there, I started using ChatGPT to just like simply build out, my scripting, my emails, my funnels. And as I got deeper and deeper, I'm like, wow, this is the future. Like there's such an impact that this is going to have on our businesses, our personal lives, our communities, that I just got so like ingrained and fascinated in learning and researching more and more about the implications of this and where we're headed. So I don't teach anyone like futuristic side of AI, but I would like to. Right now when I'm teaching people how to just use it practically for their business, to automate their business, to craft their email sequences, to automate their workflows, to get time back, and just practical reasons. But I can see where like this is headed. And
Mm.
I'm ingrained in my community, Trenton, New Jersey. That's where I grew up. And I'm still on the board of my alumni association for the last 15 years. I give back to my community, I give back to the students, and I can see the impact that this will have on Black and Brown communities. I want to help them. I
Yep.
really want to help them to not be left behind and to get ahead. This tool is like a spaceship that has landed in the everyday person's life. I'm just a working mom and I'm using it. And it didn't take me long to learn how to use it, to make money, to educate myself, to get better at my job, my full-time job. So I think that everyone should have this.
You mentioned AI. AI is just, it's another tool in the tool belt that, obviously it's very trendy and exciting, but it has that step function ability to open up whole new capabilities. For the last decade, most of what you could do with Zapier was very deterministic. When this happens, you're going to do this, this here, and you're going to have it very, very specific way. It was really easy to work with structured data. But if you had unstructured data somewhere, yeah, it's like Zapier just didn't feel like the tool for the job for that. It's just like, I'm not exactly sure what to do with that. But when you start to have AI, LLMs, all of a sudden that opens up the door to automate a whole bunch of stuff with unstructured data too. So you can say, hey, I got this email. Can you pull out phone numbers from this email? Can you categorize it in this way? Can you tag it in this way? You can use OpenAI or whatever LLM of choice that you want to use, as a step inside of Zapier, and you can start to do a whole bunch of interesting things with unstructured data. And so when we look at how we think about AI, or really the future of any automation, is trying to figure out how do we just bundle in more of these capabilities, more of these building blocks, such that the end user now, they're not constrained by what they can build.
When you say this, what is this? AI in general?
AI in general, learning about what it does, how they can use it to improve their everyday lives, their reasoning, their education. Like instead of going to school, I believe you can learn a lot faster if you learn how to use AI the right way. I'm not saying not to go to school, but I feel like our communities are going to be left behind if we do not implement this right away.
I landed on this page just a few hours ago, and then I asked you to do this call. And it's because there are a couple of things. One is that you are working on the practical business case of AI. Another is one of the main things I teach is like on the business side, even without AI, how to have offers, how to position yourself. So you're doing both things at the same time. And that's a little bit of what I wanted to break down for people who are watching. Okay, so first of all, you're using beacons as a landing page. And
Yes.
what do you like about beacons in general?
It's easy functionally to use to just plug your products in, plug your payment method in, and you can get it up and running in 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
it's also free.
Oh, okay, cool. So now you have, go ahead and scroll down just a little bit. So it says your
Sure.
picture and your name, and then you scroll down, and the first thing you have is one of my favorite offers ever is a business strategy call or some type of one-on-one call that may be on Zoom or some other way. And it's 60 minutes and you have your price here. And what I want people to do as they're watching this is to think like, treat this like a coaching session for yourselves because we're not necessarily saying everybody go and we're promoting Nicole. What we're saying is look at what Nicole is doing and how could you apply that to what you are doing. So did you ever go through anything where you had to tell yourself that it was okay to charge to do consulting, or did you always feel confident?
No, I don't like taking money from people.
Yeah. Why so?
Because I feel, because I'm more philanthropic in my
Yep.
community, I like to serve and I like to help people to get where they need to be.
Yeah.
But I do need to value my time. Like I said, I'm a mom, two small kids. I need to really value my time. And it took me a while to get here. I do some free consultations on the side for people that are in my, other communities, but I really need to value my time. So that's why I started to put a price on it.
Absolutely. I'm having some furniture put together a couple of days from now, and I did not blink when they said, okay, it's going to cost an amount. I wouldn't imagine that they would come to my house and put my furniture together and I didn't pay them. When I order my food later, I will pay for it. If I have to go to the doctor anytime this year, I will pay for that. And this is what it is, right? So now you have this. I talk about how you can set that up, even if it's the only offer you have kind of as your side hustle or like your first offer aside from your job. It's a
Mhm.
really great offer because you get on these calls and you help someone in 60 minutes and you shortcut what could have taken days, weeks, or even longer for people. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, great. And so now you have this, your AI content clone done for you. It's $9.97 at the time of this filming. It can always go up. But what is that?
So this is something I am passionate about and I think is the future of content creation. As a busy mom, as a busy business owner, I know that I don't have time to put out content week after week, day after day. So what I've done is I've cloned myself. And some of my content that you see on social media where I'm speaking, that's not me. That's my clone.
What?
Yes. And I
I
use
was
it.
going to show that next. I wanted to show how good your content is.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
So wait a second. So I know about like cloning pictures, but I don't know if I knew about cloning video.
Yes.
You clone video.
Yes.
What do you need from someone? Let's say I was going to buy this from you. What would you need from me in order to, I mean, I've seen dubbing, I've done dubbing. Like, what do you need from me to clone me so that I can then, I guess, tell it what to say?
Yes, yeah. So I would just need about 10 pictures, plain background, minimal background, and maybe 2 or 3 different outfits at the most. You don't really need to do that, but we
Yeah.
just want to make sure I get pictures of you first, and then also a video, a 3-minute video, 2 to 3 minute video of you speaking. So
Yeah.
the AI can learn your natural movements, your lip movement, your facial features when you
Yes.
speak, how you position yourself, and then you can use that for your content, use that for your
Wow.
YouTube, use that for your social media.
So I want everyone to just think of the layers that we're talking about here. Okay. So you have the fact that you're offering this. You have the fact that it is something that people can learn how to do for themselves. If they take a few hours, I'm assuming they take a few hours, they could figure it out. But if you want a shortcut, so think about something for yourself if you're watching this at home or elsewhere. Think about something that you could do for someone else that they could learn on their own, but you just do it for them. And you exchange that. And so when it comes to this, are you using like 11 Labs? Are you using HeyGen? Are you using something else I've never heard of?
Yeah, those are the most popular ones. Hey
Right.
Jen for video, 11 Labs for the voice cloning. You can use Fowl, Kling. There's so many different ones, and I'm always constantly iterating and testing out different ones to see which ones are the best,
Yeah.
which ones are more realistic. So yeah,
Okay. Well, I want to see the rest, but can we pull up your Instagram so we can see some
sure.
videos? I want to see a video that is you, and I want to see a video that is your clone.
No one is teaching this right. This is how you get AI to sound exactly like you. Grab my amplified brand voice bot.
So that's just really good. You start with you have the little mic in front of you, so we know you're about to teach us something or tell us something or bring us into something. And then you
Right.
go and you do over the shoulder where you're showing us the screen. And I just
Yeah.
think there's so many lessons that people can get from all of this. That's why I want to break it down step by step.
Okay.
Okay, now show me one that is a clone.
Here's how to turn your content into a lead gen machine.
No way. I can see it, right? I can see the hesitation in it, but I would have never known.
Yeah.
I would have thought you were just standing still.
Yeah.
That is too cool. So how did you do that? Like, you don't have to give away all the
Sure.
stuff, but like once it's created, do you type in, you give it a script and it just
Yes.
creates that?
Yeah, you give it a script, or you could do the voiceover yourself. So whichever you
Mm,
prefer. You can give it a script on your trained voice.
yep.
It'll say exactly what you type in. It'll use your trained AI voice, or you could do a voiceover so that you don't have to use the AI voice if you don't like it.
Wow. So you took some pictures. It's got to know that's very cool. That's very okay. Let's click into a couple more because again, I want to, this is what really drew me to having this conversation. So let's click on you need to stop in the bottom left. Yeah,
This one,
yes.
sure.
You need to stop creating websites that take forever when you can be focused on revenue driving activities for your business. Instead, use this free AI app that clones any website in 30 seconds. Here it is.
Whoa.
Hit create.
Wow. And what is that app?
So this app is Gamma. It helps
Oh.
you to create presentations with AI in the click of a button, websites, PDFs, lead magnets, and so on.
So go ahead and go back to your Instagram page. Thanks for showing us all this. What, tell me your game plan. Like what did you, when did you decide, okay, I'm going to make content about AI and we can start to talk about why you do it because I could think I know. But when did you decide to do that?
So I decided back in about September, October of last year to pivot because I had a course where I was teaching women how to start, create their own online business. It wasn't AI focused, but because I was using AI so much to help me to create my course, to create my lead magnets and market my business, I said I have to teach this. This just simplifies the process so much. And instead of having a 7-week program, be condensed into 3 weeks with AI.
And then the idea of making it accessible and teachable to people. Like why are, in addition to like promoting your products, which you're going to go back to your beacons in a second, why is it important for you to teach this in the way that you teach it?
It's important for me because like I said, we are on the cusp of something new, something that can help women like myself start their own business, scale it very easily with the power of AI. And instead of taking a year to figure out your business, forming it and doing customer research, trying to get your branding together, trying to get your marketing together, you can do all that within 3 to 4 weeks with the power of AI.
So if we go further down, what is this? So this is now, does it
Oh,
just, it changes kind
I
of?
did. Yeah, I didn't refresh it before,
Oh,
but I
okay.
have a boot camp that I'm doing. It's a 4-hour boot camp that I'm hosting on in the next 2 weeks. And this 4-hour boot camp will teach you how to accelerate your coaching or marketing business within 3 hours using the power of AI.
Okay. So this is a boot camp. And again, I don't think it makes a lot of sense for us to think about this. It's like if anybody's interested, by all means, go find you, right? But I also think that there's thousands and thousands of people right now who we're showing how they can set their stuff up. And I think that's very cool. When you are posting, I would imagine you post on Instagram, maybe other places. Where are you seeing the most conversion of somebody sees what you have and they come to the site?
I'm seeing a lot from Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
I'm in Facebook groups, and on there I have a lot of marketers and coaches, 7-figure, 8-figure coaches that come to me to help them automate something, to do lead scraping or analysis on their competitors. So there's
Yeah.
different things that they come to me for. But yeah.
You said you have 7 and 8 figure coaches that
Mhm.
come to you, especially on Facebook. Was that a conscious decision for you to target as your core audience 7 and 8 figure professionals or business owners?
Yes, that's part of my strategy. That's why I joined those groups. They're paid groups.
Paid groups. And the reason I ask about that is because I often talk about how, especially those of us who are very much servant leaders and want to give back and want to do more, but we still need to pay the bills.
Yes.
And that also, it's just what we're worth. It's a value thing. I always say that if you can find the right audience of people who can afford your price, instead of lowering your price to meet the demand of more people and then running out of resources and not being able to serve anyone, you charge what the real price is to the people who can afford it and who want to pay so that you can do whatever you'd like with others. Like, for instance, you could sell Monday through Thursday, I'm selling something for $1,000. And then on Fridays, I have a free workshop that anybody can come to. And
Right.
you get to make that determination because you have now that freedom from the revenue that you're making. 7 and 8 figure coaches is very specific, but there are thousands of them. And if you only had a percentage of that, you would do really well. So you see that Facebook and Instagram, so the meta world,
Yes.
when you put your videos up or your posts up, they come to your site and then they purchase something.
Yes.
What is
Mhm.
something that is the most purchased on that site?
Yeah, so the most purchased is not even here. It's custom. So it depends on their situation. And then I'll provide the solution based on their situation. So if they need a CRM where they can put their courses, their memberships, their lead gen automation flows from Instagram to Facebook to LinkedIn, I build that for them within one container, like a
Yes.
business box, so that they don't have to have multiple different applications and memberships and purchases to do the same thing.
Yes, I love that. So then how do you find out that they need that and how do they know that you can do that if it's not on your site?
It's not on my site. I don't advertise on this site, but I have another website which I'm revamping. That's more general, but no one goes to websites anymore, as far as I
Okay.
know. They
Mhm.
go to landing pages. So when I'm having a special offer, I'll promote it via workshop, like a free workshop. And then from there, that's how I collect people's email addresses, phone numbers, and then I can market to them that way. If they don't attend the workshop, I'll do follow-up email sequences so they see what my business is about, what my offers are about, my capabilities are. And then I'm also in other groups where I attend workshops from other people, and I network a lot on Facebook and Instagram. So people get to know me
Yes.
more in person, and that's how most of my clients come from, those relationships where they've seen me, they've heard me speak in the group or somewhere else.
So I had a feeling that there was a moment where you were able to give some sort of demonstration or have a one-on-one conversation, because all great sales come from conversations.
Yes.
That's just bottom line. If you're trying to figure out, oh, how do I do this? How do I promote? What do I, it's have more conversations. So even when you have your paid one-on-one consulting, during those calls, you might find out that the person needs even more help from you. And you have all these offers you can provide them if they're interested, right? Is that how your
Right.
calls normally go?
Yes, that's how
Yeah.
it goes. Yeah, find out what exactly they need, find out the situation, and then offer them a solution based
Yeah.
on their situation. Because it's not one size fits all for everyone.
That's right. And if you think of it as helping rather than it's a sale or a transaction, if you think about like, how can I be helpful? And if I can't be helpful, I'm not going to try to get somebody to pay money.
Right.
But if I can be helpful, I will offer that next thing to them. Like
Exactly.
sometimes I'll have conversations, like a lot of times I'll have conversations with people who may have already purchased something from me, and we'll be talking about YouTube. And I'll say, oh, well, did you know that you could do this, this, and that? And I'm like, if you just spent like 3 months working the formula that I have, where I've, gained so many subscribers, that would 2x your revenue because you already have all this other stuff in play. So then I offer them my YouTube studio, right? I send them over to my YouTube studio, but I don't think of it as like selling. I think of it as like, I don't say that to every person.
Right.
I say it to who I believe would actually get something from it, and they get to decide whether or not they are interested. So there's a big mindset shift that can happen with people where we're so used, I think Black women specifically, and a lot of other groups are so used to just being there for people, like just being the rock for
Right.
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You're a mother, you're a caretaker, your parents, your siblings, if you have any, et cetera, et cetera. We just are so used to just being okay and being there and not asking anything in return. And it's there. But what you do, I think, is really exciting is that you have a different angle. And I think you just kind of you prove it out in the world. Like you're showing what is possible out
Right.
in the world. And that's what I really like about it. Talk a little bit more about if we're feeling marginalized or we are marginalized, why do we need to understand AI and utilize AI in our day-to-day lives?
We don't need to go to an Ivy League school. I know a lot of us, we don't have those resources. So AI can deliver a lot of that for you and help you to self-educate and get to the level that you want to be. So not only can it help you build a business, but it can improve your IQ, it can improve your knowledge on so many different things. Like today, someone sent me a book, and I'm like, I don't have time to read this book. I really don't. So you know what I did? I went into ChatGPT and I said, Here's this book, here's the author, here's the title. Can you summarize this? Give me the key details out of this book so I understand the premise and the guidance." And within 10 seconds, I had a clean summary of that book, and I took away knowledge. I was like, you know what? Yes, that is exactly what I need to do. So I
Yeah.
can spend 2 weeks reading the book.
Yeah.
I was able to get all the information and knowledge and apply it within a few minutes. So that's why I feel like with it can help level the playing field for people of color, because we don't have the education systems, we don't have the infrastructure and support. So this is something that I believe everyone, especially people of color, we need to jump on this right away and just start small. You don't need to learn how to do AI automations. You don't need to learn how to build agents. You can build up your knowledge step by step. Just go into ChatGPT, it's free. Get videos, like I use it for YouTube videos, to summarize YouTube videos,
Mhm.
to learn about different topics, even like Perplexity, which is a better tool for research, which gives you more accurate information, more real-time information on news and history. And it'll give you not just one or two Google answers, it'll give you a full page and you tell it how much detail you want, say just a short summary, or I want a full paragraph, or I want a full page of information so that I can increase my knowledge in this area.
It means like you can look at a very small startup that's going to double every 6 months and really wrap your head around what that can be.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, also what it takes to be a startup that can double every 6 months. And then in OpenAI context, the field had discovered that there was an algorithm that could learn, and it got better with scale.
Mm.
And most people are like, okay, well, maybe it can get a little smarter. But I think the interesting thing is to say, well, what if we gave it 1 billion times more compute?
Mm.
What would that be like?
Mm-hmm.
And I think most people, I think that's just like, that's really hard for human intuition for some reason. And so it takes like very focused effort to be able to think that way.
Mm-hmm. And so do you believe that what we're looking at now at ChatGPT 4 and middle of 2023 is just a small percentage of what we're about to see break wide open?
Yeah.
Do you think that AI could one day take the place of colleges and universities?
Definitely.
Wow.
Definitely. I don't see myself sending my kids to university unless they're going to become something specialized, like a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, if that's even still a job in the next 20 years. But I can see AI taking the place of universities. Why are you going to go spend $100,000 on a degree when you can get so much more information, apply practically in your day-to-day life if you have the right structure and know how to use AI and know how to move forward and self-motivate yourself to even do that, right?
Yeah. And I think about when I think of, because I have a lot of these contradicting thoughts about AI because I'm so feeling and I'm so thinking, because I'm just so, there's so much to think about. But when I think about the idea of AI just taking the place of higher education, so-called, on one hand, you could say, well, community and networks are one of the biggest parts of going to a university, going to college. Now, I didn't go to college, and that's kind of well documented. I didn't go, but I've given scholarships, $1 million in scholarships to several scholars. And it's because that's the choice they're making. It doesn't make a difference to me which one they choose. But so some people could say, well, if they don't go to a college, then how will they form those lifelong bonds that you find in college? But I also think devil's advocate is if you think about some of the perils of the college experience, it doesn't happen all the time, but you're talking about bias, racism, you're talking about violence, you're talking about groupthink that turns into weird stuff that can happen. And you think about skipping all of that. I'll give you an example, or just like a kind of bring it home is if AI were prevalent when I was a teenager, I would have chosen AI over finishing high school because I was bullied unmercifully from 7th grade on. And I would have absolutely said, well, yeah, I still want to learn. I have a thirst for knowledge, but I don't want to I don't want to sit home and do nothing. I'm not trying to play hooky, but I don't want to have to deal with all the stuff, right? And so I can see it going both ways. I think it's very interesting. How old are your children?
4 years old and 8 years old.
Okay, so you're thinking like by the time they're college age, they're going to have a really great decision to make.
Yeah,
That's really cool. And you would be comfortable with them not going to a college.
definitely. Definitely. I want them to travel the world and I want them to have different experiences, not be confined in a box, not be told what to study or how to study it or when to study it. I want them to have real life experiences where they can learn lessons on their own, they could stumble and fall, and they could choose their own path.
And I certainly, like you said, I want my doctors, my surgeons, I don't want them AI trained necessarily. I mean, I want them to use AI to make them even smarter and make them even more efficient and like precise. but I don't want them just trained on ChatGPT and Perplexity and then find their way to a surgical unit. So there are going to be these jobs that are just so specifically to that end. What do you think about jobs in general being replaced? Because I think that most people don't realize how many white collar jobs are going to go away and how many blue collar jobs, plumbers and electricians and people who cannot be easily replaced
Right.
are actually safer over the next 3 to 7 years. What do you think about that? Are you as worried as some people are about job loss?
Yes, I am worried about it, and I see it happening every day. And
Yeah,
I don't think people realize what the risk is, what the implications are for their own roles. Even in a, white collar job, you're in a corporate job, you're making great money, but there's always a way to replace someone who's sitting in front of a computer because there's a computer that can replace you, right? A bot. Okay,
good
but like
point.
you said, when you're out there and you're doing a service job, you're working at Costco, you're a plumber, you're a mechanic, you're a landscaper. Those are the things that we need to maintain our everyday lives. But I don't want to give a specific role, but there are certain roles that can easily be replaced.
And why do you say you don't want to give a specific role? Is it just too scary or is it you don't want to scare someone else?
I don't want to scare someone else.
But you can see kind of the writing on the wall because you do work at a tech company and you work with AI, you can see. I mean, I think with any kind of research, people can start to piece that together and figure out what that might be. I would say anything in like the research or anything that has to do with even copywriting, even though copywriting is like having this resurgence, human copywriting, those jobs are in danger. But what I've seen are the people who kind of embrace it and say, yes, I've just trained on this for however many years, but I'm not going to freak out. I'm just going to be the person who knows the best prompts for
Right.
how should people think about that when they think about, oh, is my job or my role in any business, is it in danger? If they think it's in danger, what should they do?
What they need to start doing is just forming communities, networking, forming communities with other humans, and really build up your brand, your personal brand.
Hmm.
Personal branding is going to be even more important, more than ever. So don't wait to get on social media, to start sharing your thoughts, your insights, and build your presence, build your community, build your personal brand. And it doesn't always have to just be on social media. You can network in your local community. I have so many business groups in my community that I'm a part of, and people want to hear your perspective. So with the age of AI, I think community building is going to be more important than ever, especially for our children. If they're not going to be attending college, right? How are they going to find friends? So we're going to see a shift in the way we communicate with each other and how we interact with each other. And I think a lot of that we can use communities to really just foster our mental, our spiritual, our emotional well-being. That's going to be even more important now in the age of AI.
So true. Just a few days ago, I put out a video where I said that the three things to think about for the next 3 years that are going to be the most important when it comes to your business or your like financial livelihood, if you can kind of really get these. One is AI in general. The second is YouTube. And that's kind of on the personal brand front, but it's like I'm saying specifically YouTube because it's so powerful. And then the third is community because like you said, like you could it's like both need the other. You AI is nothing without humans today. Like it will be maybe one day, but it's nothing without the humans that are powering it. And community can just go so much further with AI. And then right in the middle of that, you have personal brand. Why is personal brand something that you listed there?
Because people need to know what you represent, right? They need to know who you are, what your perspective is, what your thought leadership is. And that's how you attract the right people to you. You're not going to attract everyone, but it's important to have a presence and a portfolio that when someone looks you up, they can see that, oh, well, this is her perspective on this. I agree or I don't agree. Instead of you not having that presence and being behind your computer, but not showing your presence.
If someone is afraid, even with the clone, well, I guess the clone could be a solution. If someone is afraid of putting themselves out there, or they don't like being on camera, or they don't think that they can make a nice enough video, because your videos are polished. Is the clone idea a good one for them? Because this is one of the things I hear the most when I'm talking across the board to the entrepreneurs I work with is I don't want to be on camera. And that's a big kind of like, well, because I still think you need to show your face in order for people to get to know you as that thought leader. What do you think about that?
Up until maybe a week ago, okay, I did not want to show my face on social media.
Really?
I had a huge fear and anxiety when it comes time to speak to the camera. So I have friends that are confidence coaches and they've prepped me, they've helped me, but still it just took me, I took my own time to come there. So that's why you might not see like a lot of content, but I just did a little bit at a time, got out my comfort zone. I listened to so many videos and tips on how to just get out there. Just do shorter videos. Make your videos 10 seconds, speak and then turn off the camera. Speak another 10 seconds and turn off the camera. So that's what I do a lot of times. And now I feel like I'm building up my confidence. I want to share my voice. I want to share my perspective and my knowledge and give to the world. And that's my bigger why. So I need to get over that fear and just put myself out there and serve others. So
Incredible.
it's so important for personal branding, like I said, so people know who you are, they can connect with you. You're going to form so many relationships. There's so many people out there waiting to meet you, waiting to learn from you, that it's just imperative that you just find a way slowly to get over that fear and put yourself out there. Just make a video. You don't have to post it, but just start practicing, talking in your car, doing it for 10 seconds and hit and stop until you get more comfortable and build up your confidence in that area.
Yeah. I know I keep going back to this, but it's kind of like when I found out my friend owns horses. I can't stop talking about it. How difficult is it to make a clone of yourself?
It's not difficult at all.
Really?
At all, no. No, I teach people how to do this. It's so easy. I can't say that it's like I'm not a tech person. I work in tech, but I don't know how to code. You just need to know how to use a computer, right? You just need to know how to upload a few videos, hit 2 or 3 buttons, and that's it. It's
Wow.
not that hard at all.
Say the name of the app that you use for it.
So I use a Kling. There's Runway, there's Midjourney, there's HeyGen for the video. And I like to practice and play around with it. So I find it fun. I find it creative. It's my outlet. And I think other people will find it fun too once they get over that fear of being seen or being seen as fake. Like people
Yeah.
still want to see you. Like in my content, I still speak and I still have a few videos of my clone so that people know, yes, I'm real. I'm not trying to be fake. I'm not trying to deceive anyone. But I think the technology, as it's getting better and better, we're going to see more everyday people using it for their content.
Yeah. I have this, I mean, I really want you to show us how you do it. Is it something you can like I
I
know
can
that,
show you, yes.
yeah, let's do that. Oh my God.
Maybe. Okay, hold on. Just so warning, some of the pictures may come out ugly. Okay, I've been mad at AI before, where I'm like, that does not look like me.
Well, you know what I love as you're pulling that up, what I love is there is a frustration with AI because it's as cool as it is, it's still a frustrating thing. And you have to be patient with it, just like coding. Like
Right.
you have to be, not that I code, but I know from coders that they're some of the most patient people on earth because you have to be. And anybody who works in like IT or like fixing things, like you have to be so patient. And so I find myself getting into back and forth arguments. I find myself disappointed and being a little bit like I turn into my mom when I'm upset with like Replit now. And like I had better hopes for you. You also think about the fact that anything that you're using in this moment a year ago was at least only half as good as it is now.
Right.
And the fact that if I give it a year, whatever I'm frustrated by will get better is just mind blowing.
I just did this like this afternoon. Can you see it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what are we looking at here?
Okay, so this is Fal. It's a Flux Laura model.
Never seen this before. So Flux Laura model. And I'm looking at a prompt here. We're looking at pictures. Is
Yeah.
is this a picture of you or is this a clone?
Yeah. It's a clone. It's a picture. It took my picture, my image. I trained it with about 6 or 7 images of myself. And I tell it, show me like a photorealistic image of Nicole. And I put 30-year-old, even though I'm 40, right? I was like, make me look younger. I'm a business coach with a stylish, half-shaved, natural coily hair, a twist, wearing white professional business suit. So you have to tell it, give it, even though it has your picture, help it to understand better the description of the picture and like how you want your hair to look. So I wanted it to keep my natural coils. So I made sure I put that in. And then I told it what I'm wearing, what I want to wear. This whole outfit is AI generated and everything else. The only thing that's real is maybe my hair and my face. And it made me like look a little bit skinnier, which I love. And then I told it I'm sitting in an ultra luxury meeting space with marble floors, gold accent, brushed metal furniture details, LED ambient lighting, glass whiteboard, which it didn't, it put it on the side over there, and professional photography style 8K resolution.
If somebody's not great at prompts yet, but they
Mhm.
know how to use ChatGPT or they're willing to go over there, can they say to ChatGPT, I'm going into FAL to make a clone, give me the right prompt?
So I saw an image of a girl in like this mansion and I took a screenshot of it and I was like, oh my God, this mansion is fabulous. I took a picture and I put it into ChatGPT and I said, tell me what the prompt for this picture would be. So then I used the prompt. I went into Runway and I used the prompt there. And I even used it in FAL and it created the whole background for me based on the prompt that I got out of ChatGPT. So you can use ChatGPT to tell you and create a prompt for you.
That
Like
is cool.
even these backgrounds that you see here, like I didn't know how to describe it when I saw it in someone else's picture. So I asked ChatGPT, give me a prompt for this scenery, an image prompt. And then I put it into FAL and I put my image up and I said, Nicole in this background.
How much of your real picture are you showing? How much of your body?
You can tell it, show your full body, show half body.
Because one of the things I'm thinking constantly about different ways that different people can work. If someone is working with clients on weight loss and they can show the clients what they might look like at a certain weight that's healthy and not some crazy, losing weight
Right.
or even bulky or whatever, that could be super interesting to as
Yes.
a lead magnet or something that is incorporated in their offer.
Oh, yes, that is a fabulous idea because
Mhm.
you can tell it to, you can say mid body, you can say slender, you can say more heavy or
Yeah.
actual weight.
It would be interesting to say the height and the weight. I'm sure it's not to a point where it's like as respectful as it needs to be, but I think it will be if we ask it. So then
Right.
going back to you put in you said you gave it 7 pictures. How long did it take to actually populate this photo?
The photos take about 30 seconds to populate. The videos take about 5 to 6 minutes to populate.
That's incredible. And going back to our thinking it through with the founder, because I'm just thinking about the people in my membership watching this as its own course,
Right.
when you think about like I said earlier, a lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to say, "Oh, that's so cool." And most people won't go do it themselves. They just won't. Some people will, but most people won't. And the people who do it aren't necessarily going to go all in. And they might say, "Okay, at least I know how to do it. That's really cool. I'm still going to pay somebody else to do it for me." Like when I look at Replit, for instance, the AI agent where I've built 4 pages at this point, website, web apps. When I look
Mhm.
at Replit, when you go into a certain section of Replit, there are so many people who have listed, make this for me. I've started the project and now I need somebody who is really good at Replit to take it home. Even
Right.
though I've built 4 web apps in less than 4 days, that one of them is good to go. I don't need to do anything with it. 3 of
Mhm.
them, it would be kind of cool to have somebody come in and optimize it and do that thing. And it's just both are worth it. So
Yeah.
if you're thinking about, like, if someone is thinking about, like, the wheels are turning for them right now, and not only do they believe that AI can help them in their day-to-day lives, which it can, but they want to make money from it. You have a video on your Instagram that says, if you're not making $10,000 a month on ChatGPT, you're doing it wrong. How do they make $10,000 a month using ChatGPT?
There's so many ways. So you could start with just asking it to tell you what you're good at. Give it some background about yourself. You can give it some ideas of things that you may like to do, things that you're good at, things that people may have told you that you're good at or praised you for in the past. And you can say, based on this, tell me what kind of business I should be starting that can make $10,000 a month. And it'll give you some feedback. And then based on that, you tell it more about yourself and say,
Mhm.
well, I don't really want to do this type of business. I want to focus something more where I'm working with AI, where I'm helping coaches and marketers grow and scale their business. What type of businesses are in need right now that are not really common that you think that would be good for me to start? And from there, it'll go on and on. And then once you figure out kind of like what you want to do, you can use AI to continue to elevate and optimize what you're doing and streamline it. You can get it to create your offer suite, your pricing, your target audience, like who should you be targeting. You can get it to create your sales page, verbiage.
Yes.
You can even get it to create your images for your sales page. You can integrate it with Canva. So you can create your PowerPoint presentations that you want to present, and even your content plan, your social media plan. Like, what kind of content should I be putting out there?
Yeah, and I have a custom GPT that
Mhm.
inside of my membership, Your First 5K, I teach you how to make your own custom GPT like ChatGPT and using ChatGPT. And I also give you access to my custom GPT, which helps you create a $5,000 offer. Now, it could be
Yeah.
something that's $100 sold 50 times, or it could be 1 times 5K. But either way, it teaches you that. So you get access to that in your first 5K. And ChatGPT, even if you don't pay for it, you still get a certain number of prompts each day for free. And you
Right.
can just go, whether you're using my custom GPT or ChatGPT directly, you can go and do every single thing. This is what I would suggest to people. Pause this video, rewind it to the beginning of what Nicole was saying, and just do it step by step. And it will give you a lot of great answers. And if you want even more customized particulars, you can go into my custom GPT all by signing up to my membership. But that is just wild, especially right now when 80%, the last I checked, this number may have changed, but the last I checked with a survey of 300 of my YouTube viewers, 80% of my YouTube viewers make less than $5,000 per month. So even if you were to get to 5K per month, you're pretty much replacing a salary, and in some cases, exceeding your current salary. If that's the case, isn't it worth at least checking this out, giving some hours to this? What do you say to people who are busy? They're busy parents, they're busy with lifing.
Yeah.
Do they have time for this?
Yes, you do. Okay. If I can do it as a busy mom, working in tech or running a business, 2 kids and a husband and laundry and dishes and family, caregiving to take care of, you can do it. It doesn't take a lot of hours. If you invest an hour or two a day just to go in and play around and then get a feel for it, and then from there, you'll be like, oh, wow, this is giving me really great ideas. Let me take it a step up, bring it to the next level. How can I map out my business plan? How can I mind map this to a $100,000 goal in the next 6 months? It'll give you step by step by step on how to get there. And then you implement. Don't just read it. Go out and implement everything that you're learning, what it's telling you to do, test and continue to tweak and iterate, and you'll get there.
This is really good.
So there's an app that I love to use called Notebook LM. What I've done, and I'm going to show you really quickly, I've taken what ChatGPT has given me and I said, okay, this is my Empire Business Plan framework. Tell me how I can get to $100,000 in revenue by the end of 2025. So I put that in here. And what Notebook LM does is that it mind maps for you. And it's an LLM, so you can ask it questions. You can say, should I offer this versus that? Or should I pitch this versus that? And it'll tell you, and it'll map it out for you in a mind map flow.
So when we say LLM, that's what ChatGPT is. It's a
Yes.
large language model,
Right.
which is not super important, but it tells you what kind of tool you're using.
Yes.
That is too cool. So okay, so you're showing us, whoa.
Yes.
You're showing us your actual Empire plan
Yes.
behind the scenes.
Yes, behind the scenes.
Thank you for that. Okay.
You're welcome.
So walk us through this.
All right, so like I said, I gave it the prompt, just some ideas I got from ChatGPT on, just what my goals are and how can I map this out? What do I need to offer? And what do I need to do on a day-by-day basis? On a month-by-month, actually, I started with month-by-month, and then I'll have it break down day by day what I need to do.
Oh
So it's
my
telling me, month one, this is what you need to do, what I need to focus on, the conversations I need to have. Month 3 and 4, launch, and so on. And it's put that into a mind map for me because I'm a visual person. So when I click here to open the mind map, it's going to break it out. Okay, so here, my timeline from May to October, this is what I need to be focused on. Let me expand this. And you can drag. I love that you can just drag this. You can zoom in, you can move it around, you can play around with it. So it tells me here I need to have monthly average of 16,000 between May and October.
To reach 100,000, because you're saying 100,000 by the end of the year.
Yes.
I love this goal. Okay, can you go ahead and show us that so we can and just kind of walk through it. So make it a little bit bigger. What?
Okay. Yep. It's mapping out everything I need to do in these months. It's telling me what to do in month 1, what I need to do to get to 15,000. It's giving me the product that I need to have, my offer clarity. I need to have a mini launch, the systems I need to build, and my marketing strategy. And if I go into more detail, it'll break it out even more. I'm giving you all my secrets here.
I mean, but it's just too cool that this can do that because
Yes.
like the prompt that you put in, can you go back and show that prompt? It was one line.
Sure.
And before you did the one line, did you give it a lot more information? Does it know
I
you?
went into I went into ChatGPT first. And I got the information. I told ChatGPT, this is what I do. And I'm an AI coach and strategist. And I want to be able to get to $100,000 in the next 6 months before the year is out. This is what I need to hit. And what can I sell or what can I promote based on my own framework or based on my offer? How can I hit $100,000 with this offer? Or if I didn't like that offer that it gave me, I could say, hey, give me another offer that I would feel more comfortable or I would have the bandwidth to promote. So once it did that, I put it into Notebook, and then I just asked it to create a mind map for me. And then I could ask it here, I could say, should I promote the VIP offer or a done for you offer? And it may give me some suggestions back. So just like how you conversate with ChatGPT, you can do the same here with Notebook, and it'll give you ideas, it'll give you feedback. So it's telling me, based on both offers that are included, here is what they suggest for me to promote.
Different, it's saying do both, but different times.
Yes, different times.
VIP offer earlier in the timeline, which I would say either way would have worked, right? It's not like it's like decoding time or decoding,
Right.
but it's like it's such a back and forth thought part.
Brainstorming, yeah.
Yes.
It's my coach. This is my coach that's coaching me as well.
Take it even a level deeper.
Yeah.
You are a coach, because I was going to ask you earlier if what you thought about how the job security of coaches. If this can do this, where does that leave coaches? But coaches can say, look, my client, use this. I'm going to give you the prompt that's the best prompt to use.
Right.
Fill in your customized pieces, but you're
Yeah.
using my prompt to get the best results. And then you're still this person who can be the plug.
Yeah, and not only that, I have two coaches and I rely on them to tell me, is this really going to work? Is it not? Based on your
Yeah.
expertise in this industry and what you've seen and what your students have experienced, is this something that's feasible? Is it truly going to work for me? And then I'll get their feedback. So you still need the human element. You can't just rely on ChatGPT to tell you, oh, yes, click of a button. You're going to make 100,000 if you do this, if you do this, if you do that. You still need someone with real world experience that can tell you, well, based on the market, based on how I see things going, and based on what I'm hearing from other coaches and from other students, maybe you should take this route.
And by the same token, if we need that, and if you need that person watching this, then your customers still need you.
Exactly.
And that's where you come to it. You I call it the Iron Man suit. It's our Iron Man suit. Where it's making us stronger. Obviously, I talk about this quite a bit now. Obviously, there are some pitfalls to AI, and it's not all perfect. But I just think that because you only live once, and because it is happening with or without us, taking advantage of this over the next 3 years, keeping eyes wide open is so important. This answers so many questions, and I could see myself going in there. And the more seasoned you are, the further you can take something like this. For instance, I use ChatGPT to make this.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you what this is. I'll
Wow.
tell you what this is. So what this is, and I'll do a full video about it for my members some point, maybe for YouTube. But a few weeks ago, I made a video series on YouTube. And the video series, the only video in the series of like 17 or so videos that is actually public and not unlisted is just the first one. And it's like a choose your own adventure. And so there are more than 7,000 combinations of this video. And what it does is it teaches you how YouTube can help your business. It's like a 4-minute intro, and that's what you see on the screen. Then you have two options. So you can go here if you have under 1,000 subs, and here if you have more than 1,000 subs. But from there, you have multiple, more than 7,000 ways to, what orders to put this video in. Some people won't ever see certain videos in it, depending on their selections. Some people will see all of them, and you can start over, and it's all this, it's really, really cool. I called it my own Bandersnatch. If you ever watched that special on Netflix. What I did was I worked with ChatGPT for several hours, telling it what I wanted to do, telling it what I wanted the different options to be. And then I said, mathematically and logically and strategically, map this out for me. And can you show this to me? It gave me a list. And I said, can you show this to me in a visual? And it gave me that. And I couldn't believe that it processed that. And that is something that, I'm going to have actually printed and put on my wall, because that video in itself, we needed each other. Like ChatGPT couldn't have done the video or thought of the video on its own. I couldn't have figured out the exact order to film in, an exact order to put at the end screens without ChatGPT. I probably could, but it would take a long time. So it's just, the possibilities are so endless. And so if you are someone who's watching and you feel like, well, yeah, I use ChatGPT and I use Notebook LM, and I already kind of know a few of these things. I'm not in this conversation. First of all, if you're still here, you certainly are in this conversation. And second of all, it just means that you can go to higher and higher levels, and you can push it to a limit that most people can't. And that in itself is very enticing. Besides ChatGPT, how does somebody make money with AI?
If you don't want to just use ChatGPT, you want to build things, you can build agents, you can build workflow automations, you can sell those to small businesses or coaches. For example, you may have a business, a real estate business in your town. Look at their website, and see what's missing. You can use AI to build a website for them and say, hey, I just mocked up this website for you within 3 seconds with Gamma, right? This is what your website can look like. And if you want to get a chat agent on there, a chat bot, I can build that for you and put it on there. It'll learn your business. It'll answer questions. When your customers come on there, they see a house in the area, they want to know the specs, they want to know the pricing. If you're not available, if you're busy with another client, this chatbot has all those details and it could answer those questions for you, take that customer's information, and then you could pick up the conversation right where the bot left off.
Incredible. Now do you have a simple website URL?
Yes, it's AI vault.com.
And that's how people can like talk to your chatbot, use your services?
Yes, that's the one for the chat bots, for the website bots, for the Google review bots. If you have a business out there where you're not responding to your Google reviews, this bot can go out there, look at the reviews. If it's not a 5-star review, the bot can reply back to that customer and say, hey, we saw that you left us a 3-star reviews. We are here to serve you. We're concerned. Please give us a call at this number so we can rectify the situation without you even knowing about it. And that'll all be fed back to you. And then you could build your reputation, improve your reputation online with chatbots.
There's so many levels to this. There's so many levels to this. I know people are going to ask me, how can you consult them? That Beacons page we saw?
That's the primary one. If you go on my Instagram, Nicole McCain, MCCAIN_AI, you can book a consultation with me.
Besides the clones that you use, we're talking about personal brand, talking about content. What use cases do you have for AI when it comes to content in general?
So you can use AI to build your content flow. Start simple. Ask ChatGPT to help you build out an email sequence. And then you can use a tool like make.com or NAN to automate your email sequence, or you could put it in your email flow builder. You can also use it to automate your newsletter or a blog. It can create it for you. You can sequence it week over week, and then you can use one of those automation tools. Like I mentioned, make.com is one of my favorites because it's very easy to use. It's no code. You just plug in your Google spreadsheets with your content, and it'll feed it to 4 or 5 different social media platforms at the same time.
And that's make.com.
Yes.
Yeah. And the other one you mentioned was N8N.
Yeah.
N, the number 8N. Yeah, I've seen that one too. So what does that one do?
That one it helps you it's just like Make, it helps you build automation workflows, but that one also has AI agents. So it's a step up, and you will need to learn. Just take 2 hours to practice and you'll get it like this. And it uses like a LLM voice, like a feature where you just type in what you want and then it'll build it for you.
And what have you used Make or N8N to make? Give me one example.
Yeah, so one of my favorite things to do is to use it to automate my reels to social media. So I go into Canva and I use a reels template, and then I bulk create my reels. I feed my content from ChatGPT into a spreadsheet, and then I bulk upload that to Canva, and it'll duplicate out those videos with the text on screen and with the caption. And then I run that through Airtable and ChatGPT. I can also run it through Perplexity if I wanted to, add in a few news sources to my content, and then it'll automate it to my Instagram, the video, the screen on text, and the caption. And that could be done within 2 hours at the most.
Wow. That is incredible. Do you have courses?
I do have a course called the Digital Roadmap AI Academy. I'm also on School, and that's where I host my course.
Yeah,
And you mentioned I have another boot camp coming up where I'm going to teach coaches and marketers how to use AI to scale and 10x their lead generation and their business. So
Is your school paid or free?
it's free for now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very bullish on School. I won the School games in September, and I just love School so much. I was there recently for their latest School games as a guest, And it's just, we're talking about community, right? We're talking about how the AI, YouTube and personal branding content and the community all are going to play such a role over the next 3 years. And of course, beyond 3 years, but these 3 years, if you can capture this lightning in a bottle, that is the place. And school is just, it's just intuitive, it's simple, it feels like the vibes are good.
Easy.
Speaking of vibes, can we talk about this? Okay, so you know the phrase vibe coding?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, I think it's funny that a bunch of nerds from San Francisco came up with this vibe coding phrase. It's like a Silicon Valley thing that is now kind of everywhere. But vibe, like we are vibe, right? We are the true original purveyors of vibe. For anybody who doesn't know that term, because I just learned it a few days ago, what does vibe coding mean to you?
It means that you don't have to be a techie. You can use AI in your day-to-day no-code solutions. It's for the everyday user. If they want to just learn how to build something, you can do it with an app. You can do it with an agent. You can use your LLM, no coding, and it's just like hands off,
Yeah, so it's kind of like you're chilling, like
right?
you're and also I think it means that it's about vibes. It's not all about stress.
Right,
It's about kind of where can your creativity take you?
right.
Wherever your creativity can take you, these tools are now at a point where they can help you get there. And
Mhm.
they can even go further than you ever dreamed, which
Yeah.
is saying a lot because we are very creative humans. I know my audience, I know we're super creative, but if you imagine that wacky world that is even more bold and more colorful, and on top of that, some would say, including myself, that it gives us this level playing field that you talked about. Speaking of that level playing field, what does that look like to you if we can get on board as marginalized people, on board and at least aware of what AI can do?
It means that we can create wealth for ourselves. It means we can get to a place where we've been held back, and now we can get to a place where we want to be financially, cognitively. We can be so much smarter. We can be more faster. We can be more resourceful. We don't have walls or barriers or systems holding us back. With AI, it's out there for you to use. And a lot of the tools are free. And like I said, no code. So it's even my 8-year-old, she's using it. She's creating her own like avatars, her own animations on the iPad. And I'm like, she's so into it. And like this could take her so much further than she's dreamt or that I even think is possible. Because now from a young age, she's learning these tools I never had access to, and tools that, people of color have never had access to in the past. Just like, with the invention of the airplane or with the car, it was only limited to people that had wealth and that had power. So now with the age of AI, you have these tools that are not limited to you because of your situation, your demographic or your race or your income. They're out there for you to use to elevate yourself, elevate your community, get on a higher playing field, get on a higher realm of knowledge, right? And use that to give back to your community, use that to give back to your family and to create wealth and take your business to higher and higher heights.